Hi, I'm Sarah Rudolph in Longview, Texas with Vital Life Physical Therapy. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to be able to work on your balance in the comfort of your own home. Did you know that a leading cause of mortality in older people is due to falls? Well, falls happen because as we age, we tend to not work on our balance very much. Unless you're somebody who does a lot of CrossFit and functional training where you're working on mobility and stability drills a lot. But for the average Joe out there, we really don't think about working on our balance very much. And so as you age, your risk of having a fall increases significantly. And that can lead to hip fractures, hospitalizations, etc. And it's never too early to start working on training your balance. This is something that us as physical therapists do, even with athletes, children, high schoolers, college people. We help to retrain the balance after somebody has sprained their ankle or had knee injury, surgery, etc. Because if you don't retrain the balance, and those proprioceptors, which are the nerve endings in the joints and ligaments that help to orient your body in space, people are more likely to re-sprain their ankle and re-injure themselves. So one way that you can work on your balance in the comfort of your very own home is to work on standing on one foot while you're doing a functional task such as brushing your teeth. Now you may ask, why do it with a functional task? Well, when you are specifically thinking about balancing on one foot, like right now, for example, or in a yoga class where you may be working on developing a tree pose, you're really concentrating everything on, am I nicely lined up? Have I got my foot in the right spot, my leg in the right place? And you kind of gradually get your weight onto the standing leg. And all your energy is consumed and focused on maintaining your balance. However, in daily life, we are crossing the street, looking out for traffic, walking down the aisle in the grocery store, looking up and down, and we're really not thinking about our balance, like going up a step. We're thinking about where that next step is, not what that balancing foot is doing. And so, when we engage our brain in a functional task such as brushing our teeth while we stand on one foot, we take the brain's focus away from the balance and we make the brain focus more on the coordination required for the skill of brushing our teeth. And so what that does is it makes the nerve endings, the joint and the ligaments in that standing leg work autonomously and work a lot harder on their own without the help of the brain to maintain your balance. And that's the kind of balance you are going to require in your daily life to help prevent falls. So I would like to challenge you over the next few days. Why don't you see how many seconds are you able to stand on one foot while you do a functional task such as brushing your teeth or perhaps combing your hair. Something that doesn't involve the risk of injury, like, for example, for the men, if you're shaving, okay? So the toothbrush or the hairbrush or comb would be a great time to work on your balance. Now, if you're very challenged, you can use one hand for support or just two fingers and then progress to one finger and then progress to not using that finger at all, okay? And I'm going to give you two more tips which make it a little easier to work on your balance. First of all, you want to try to keep your hips level right here in your pelvis. I'm going to switch legs so you can see better. So I don't want you to be hanging like this. Don't allow that standing hip to stick out. That means you're just hanging on the hip, okay? It makes it a little easier to balance, but it's not good body mechanics and you're putting strain on the hip. So you want to use those hip abductor muscles right here to keep your pelvis level. And that also engages the hip muscles to give them a little bit of a workout at the same time. All right. And then the other thing you're going to want to do to make your task easier is to engage your core. Your deep abdominal muscle called the transversus is the one that stabilizes the middle of your body between the pelvis and the rib cage. There's no other bony structures there besides the spine. So when you do not engage the core, it makes you kind of wobbly, okay? And I liken that when I'm teaching this to patients to the difference between balancing a block of cheese on a stick versus balancing a block of Jell-O on a stick, okay? Trust me, I tried it. I tried as hard as I could to balance a block of this Jell-O on top of this pencil right here. I couldn't do it because the Jell-O is wobbly. And that's what happens when you don't engage your core. Your upper body is wobbling all over the place, and it makes it a lot more difficult for your leg to stabilize yourself. But when you engage your core, that deep transversus abdominis, it's making your core kind of like this block of cheese here, which has this whole time been balancing on the pencil because it is sturdy. And that's what you're going to do when you engage your core musculature. So over the next couple of days, see how you go, give it a try, see if you can progress from using support to not using support, and then how many seconds are you able to do that? Can you do it for the whole time that you are brushing your teeth? And then also switch legs and work on the other leg, because most of us have a dominant or a stronger leg and a weaker leg. So you will more than likely find it a little more challenging to work on one leg than the other. So here's to fall prevention. Share this with your friends, your grandparents, your aunts and uncles, so that you can keep them from hitting the ground and landing up with a broken hip. If you have any questions or further comments or need some help with your balance training, feel free to reach out to me at Vital Life Physical Therapy and Wellness here in Longview, Texas.